of finding the stuff and getting us caught up. I'm asking, is there a way to avoid having to go ahead and missing some of these things and having to catch up?
I doubt it. I mean, I don't know how you know to get it unless you're missing it. So you gotta miss it to go get it.
If we were a community that had multiple developments like this going in those communities, there certainly would be a history of experience that we would have to rely on. We don't have that. This is a new project and a new, and every step that we're taking is learning. And I think as an administration, as a community, I think we're doing a really great job in getting comfortable with that and understanding what the issues are. You're not gonna have them until you find them, and you're not gonna find them until they actually.
But, well, some of this stuff isn't, I respectfully disagree. I don't know if all of this is we're not going to know until we find it. Some of the Rita stuff, yes, I get it. You know, but there's some of these other larger things that we haven't necessarily caught right on time when maybe we should have caught them. That's my concern, and I don't.
How do you propose to?
I don't know. That's my question. I don't do that for a living. Like, I don't know the answer. That's exactly what I'm asking.
Here's everything we're doing.
I'm asking, do other communities have anything in place to, like, these are how we know what the fees are supposed to be, and we have to, and, you know, they have, I don't know, some kind of sheet. I mean, we're obviously sending stuff to businesses saying that they owe this money, so we know what should be paid, and some of the stuff doesn't get paid, and we have to go, oh, hey, by the way, you owe us this.
So I'm not saying it's right, but for as long as I've been on council, this has been a problem we chase all the time. When
One person on this list.
the medical center.
Oh, yeah, for years, you're right.
We're chasing, people literally, in Dana's position, would have to walk in the building and write down every name, because it changed every week.
Oh, I get the Rita thing is difficult.
So we've always wanted a solution to this problem, but I've never thought of one.
I don't know that there's a problem. This is the routine business of collecting taxes.
No.
I mean, this is just the municipal routine business.
Yeah, right.
I don't think we're behind any curveball. I know what you're asking. You're thinking the impact fees. That was a one-time thing. They didn't know about it. When I thought of it, we sent them a bill.
The only question that I find interesting, and there may be it may have no point at all, but if they're sending their money to Beechwood because they think they're in Beechwood, what does Beechwood do with it?
It goes to Rita. And when Rita finds that it shouldn't have gone to Beechwood, they'll go, all right, subtract it from this line and then add it to Orange's line.
What I'm
They don't
saying
have to write us a check. We don't have to.
about the communities, it's all through Rita now.
Right.
Beechwood doesn't see, yeah, I mean, it's,
Act with them individually. No, Rita handles it.
Or the city hall.
But that seems to be the cure. I mean, the cure is to,
Sorry I brought up the admissions taxes. I really think we're on top of it all.
yeah, I mean,
not, again, I'm not I guess it's more constructive criticism. It's not criticizing.
If you had an idea what to do.
Okay, wait, time out. I'm sorry. I don't know what the answer is. I see a problem, and I'm asking, is there anything else to do about it? I'm sorry that I don't know the answer in every single thing that there is in Dana's job, or your job, or anybody's job.
Everything we know to do, if we can find other things to do, we'll do those too.
And those are my questions.
That's my answer.
I don't think it's unfair for me to question these things. I know, but the fact that I'm not offering a solution doesn't mean I can't question things. I mean,
I keep telling you we're in good shape, we're on top of it, we're doing it. You keep saying, no, we're not in good shape, we're so behind. Why are we behind?
we are, Mayor, I'm not, calm down. I'm saying we were behind. Is this normal? And I'm literally just asking a question and seeing if there's answers to this, or if this is normal or not.
Move on.
get this figured out, won't you?
You move on. I think that the administration is working on this issue. If it turns into something that is a holy nightmare, we'll know about that, certainly. Let's move on to other business that we have to address here today.
Running the meeting, I understand your concern here, but I'm moving on. I don't want to get to the point where there's a holy nightmare, which is why I'm saying, hey, is there anything else we could do? If the answer is no,
Well, we'll think about it.
then the answer is no. I think it's a fair question.
We'll think about it.
Okay, That's all I'm asking.
Thank you, Dana.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dana.
We vote?
Where do you think you're going?
If you call roll, please.
No, you're okay.
Don't you have the tax administrator's report?
Did it, that's how we started this conversation.
And they ask questions.
Lost.
We're on the tax
Oh,
administration.
yes.
Bilski,
Yes.
Yes.
Harry. Braverman,
Yes.
Duber.
Moving on to discussion, bills to be paid in the month of June in the amount of $485,579.49, and additional May expenses in the amount of $294.94. Do you have any questions on the bills?
I have a question. On page 1, Cummins Consulting Services for Harvard Road Traffic Study regarding Centrix for 2850.
It's the study that was done so that the Beechwood can tie us into the intelligent transportation system, and that's the information they needed in order to implement.
Is that just normal, is that due to Pinecrest or just normal, do we normally have these studies?
We've never had a new intersection to hook up with Beechwood. Chris?
We needed to do it so that we could get the most efficient traffic flow with 271 south of because Beechwood participated in this. Matter of fact, they paid more to do their section by Richmond and 271 to make all the lights sequence together so that we don't have the backups that we've had in the past unnecessarily. So the only way this can be done is by this traffic survey to determine when the peak hours are, at what intersection, or what direction, to feed that into the computer. That's going to make everything a lot smoother in that area.
It's more than just the Pinecrest intersection. It'll go over
That's what I was just,
Brainerd and goes over the interstate.
okay, I didn't know how often we do these, if this was strictly because of the,
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the first time we've ever done this with the Centrix ever. And hopefully it's going to be very, very efficient.
Do you know if they've implemented it yet?
Other questions on the bills, comments on the bills?
Interested in one thing. Maybe, Steve can tell us, the U.S. Postal,
I'd like to tell you.
go ahead.
You heard a little bit about the difficulties with the post office, zip code. I talked about this at finance. So it's, it's an ongoing nightmare. So anyways, when Pinecrest started and we revisited the difficulties of having all these different zip codes, we got Sherrod Brown to write a letter in support. Unfortunately, I don't think he really understood because he asked for a new zip code for us. All we were asking for is that when you put in 44122, that we could be a last line designation, that you can see Orange Village. So Sherrod wrote, Marcia Fudge wrote, each level said no, no, no. Then Paul Singerman and I went, and Anna, we went to Marcia Fudge's office and we met with her staff. We took this as far as we could, and there was one step left. I consulted with Congresswoman Fudge. She said we should do it, and that was following an appeal process in the USPS regulations, and I authorized the law director to spend up to $5,000 to write this appeal. I know you're going to think this is like the AT&T area codes, remember that? But I even consulted with finance, and they agreed that we had taken it so far and had so many efforts out there, we needed to take the last step. And that's what it is. It's a one-time thing.
was the punchline that we got it?
No, we don't even know. We haven't heard back.
Haven't heard a response. It's the post office, don't expect promptness.
Got lost in the mail on the way back.
A stamp on it at least? I mean,
25 years to deliver that letter.
Is there another remedy if they deny this? I mean,
No.
there's nothing to do at that point.
No. They get to,
There's no filing suit or anything that can be done in order to...
no, the post office always wins.
You tell me how long you want me to wait, and if we haven't heard back, I'll ask Marcia Fudge to.
Any other questions? Okay. And moving on to audience comments relating to agenda items only. Okay, and old business, ordinance 2019-14, as amended. an ordinance amending certain sections of the codified ordinances of Orange Village to prohibit the erection of barbed wire fences. This is on third reading. Does anybody like to make a motion? Is there a second?
Second?
Does anybody have any comments?
I just have a question. Was there any further discussion last week?
Yeah, Dave Hart was here and there was discussion.
Brandon?
I mean, I noted my objections to it. I don't think it's a necessary ordinance, but that's my opinion.
Planning Commission recommended its approval to, recommended to council that we approve it, and we had discussion at Planning Commission 2 weeks ago.
Dave said it's necessary, because I don't think, he didn't say it's necessary, but he didn't, he wasn't against it by any stretch.
And I asked the mayor, how did this emanate? And Kathy said, it came from you, you wanted this, because you were concerned.
I don't want barbed wire in the village.
Anywhere.
It's come to my, well, except where we don't have a say. I just don't see what the, what the other side of this is. If it's, we just don't want it, and if we have it prohibited, we have a leg to
I
stand
don't think there's a negative unintended consequence for
I'm
having
still
it.
confused, though. Has there ever been an instance where anybody has asked for this to planning and zoning?
Is barbed wire up, though?
In one place, right?
And utilities always have the right to do this per Ohio law?
Yes, where they have facilities, they can't just street.
Well, is the pump station, is that a public utility? Okay, so that's where that's the other location where we have it.
Open.
Well, this is something that sort of puzzled me. Historically, if we're going to be looking at some sort of legislation, sometimes we get a heads up and we're told it'll be on the agenda next week or the week after. This sort of just popped up. And I was surprised, and, I've read,
Look at it.
I'm not saying I haven't, what I'm trying to say is that sometimes if you want something that you really are passionate about, and you've done it historically, you said, well, in next week's meeting, we'll have this, that, or the other. And I didn't find that with this particularly.
Remember when I first brought it up, I don't remember if I said it a week ahead of time, or if it was on the agenda, or we talked about it at planning and zoning. I honestly don't remember. I don't think it's that significant.
In general, I mean, I, for example, and I would think most of us on the council, are against the use of barbed wire as a decorative item, in our residential area. Do we agree with that?
Well, you're already not allowed to have a barbed wire fence in your front yard.
That's what I'm trying to say.
To have a fence in your front yard.
That will come along that we can't all see in front of us today. We need to take a position, and I think the position of prohibiting puts the burden on the person coming in to persuade our commission that what they're coming in and asking for is reasonable. We can't envision all those possibilities now, so I want to put that fence around this question and let them have to come through it.
Counter to that is it's already regulated in the ordinance on where you can and can't have a barbed wire fence.
That that's thoroughly in there, I don't.
That absolutely is in the ordinance. It's in the prior ordinance.
Ordinance
Reading
adding
of the
something we
ordinance.
don't already have.
The absolute prohibition with the exception is not in it.
The posture that I want to be in when somebody comes in with some proposed use that I hadn't previously thought of and listed in our previous or any future.
I mean, I don't really see what the downside is. I mean, is there anybody that's arguing for barbed wire?
No?
Oh.
Okay. Any other comments?
But I guess I kind of feel like, based upon other discussions we've had and other issues, that we're finding a solution for a problem that doesn't exist. If planning and zoning is never going to approve this to begin with, and we have the state law to fall back on as far as if it's a utility, I don't see what the,
You don't want to,
Who asked me for this? Your board of the Orangewood Homeowners Association. That's who brought this problem to my attention.
okay? But that's grandfathered in, that's not going to alter what's there, is my point.
I can't understand why anybody would object to prohibiting barbed wire. There's just no argument to not do it.
I think it's a posture that we want to be in going forward, that's all.
Any other comments?
What were you saying? It's in one of the homeowners associations regulations? Is that what?
No.
It came out of a discussion at the HOA.
The discussion, oh, okay.
Any other comment?
Surprised you're all not appalled at the notion of having barbed wire.
HOA brought this to your attention?
Yes, Mayor Scott.
No, I was talking to a judge, because you're part of this, aren't you, the HOA? You know,
Part of the homeowners association board.
Who's
They
paying?
brought it to you.
I just live there.
Just exactly.
They brought it to you complaining that,
My attention that there's barbed wire. Why is there barbed wire? Do we permit barbed wire? I said, Steve, let's prohibit barbed wire. This is way overthinking. Don't rule it out. Silly.
Call the question?
This is silly.
Any other comments? If you'd call roll, please.
Klein,
Yes.
Bilski,
No.
Cluter,
no,
Perry,
No.
Braverman,
Yes.
Duber,
Barbed wire ordinance fails.
Moving on to new business, in consideration of resolution 2019-6,
Wait, oh, I guess that doesn't apply. Nothing, no.
resolution adopting the 2020 Orange Village alternative tax budget.
Here's another one, Francis. I don't think you knew about this ahead of time, because I didn't know about it last week to announce it.
the budget, this we do regularly, Mayor, and I'm aware of a piece of legislation that I was totally unfamiliar with, and not all the time. Don't throw your hands up to heaven, because this is legitimate. I mean, you do it, sometimes you don't do it all the time. Sometimes you say, we're having legislation in front of us.
About it, sometimes I don't.
That's what I'm questioning, and I don't think that's fallacious. I think that's a good question.
Mayor, would you like to discuss the budget at all?
Let Dana do it.
Dana, would you like to?
See, I told you you had to stay.
Thumbs up, then you can,
Okay, before you have the 2020 tax budget, I did pass out a memo outlining the purposes of the tax budget. One is it sets the certificate of estimated resources, which is our revenue for 2020. It starts that process. It also allows us to get local government funds. So without a tax budget, you don't get local government funds, which is about $23,000 to the village. The main purpose is it sets the property tax rates, and even though we have voted issues, you have to submit a tax budget showing the need for the revenue in order to get your revenue. So that's the main purpose of the tax budget. The millage was 7 mills, which is the same as last year. There's no change there. And so this, again, just allows us, the documents just show what the values are for the estimated revenue for property taxes to be collected in 2020. Doesn't appropriate anything. That comes at a later date and time, and it's due to the county by July 19th.
Have to pass it tonight.
Would anybody like to make a motion to pass resolution 2019-6?
Motion made.
Second.
Any comments? All right, if you'd call roll, please.
Klein,
Yes.
Bilski,
Yes.
Cluter,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Braverman,
yes.
Duber.
Yes. And moving on to Resolution 2019-7, a resolution honoring David Hart for his years of service to Orange Village and congratulating him upon his semi-retirement. And I know that we expressed some of this to Dave last week. I'd be happy to read this resolution. And so it's a resolution honoring David B. Hart for his years of service to Orange Village and congratulating him upon his semi-retirement, whereas David B. Hart has ably served Orange Village as village planner for nearly 2 decades, whereas as village planner,
I'm sorry.
David Hart has been committed to enhancing the quality of life through responsible physical planning in Orange Village through the employment of innovative techniques and sound planning principles, and whereas, among so many other contributions, David B. Hart's sage counsel was instrumental in guiding the village through the Pinecrest development process, and whereas For almost 50 years, David B. Hart has worked with countless communities, planners, planning commission, and appeals board members, as well as developers and attorneys in all aspects of land use planning and development. And whereas David B. Hart has devoted countless hours to educating the community about principles of smart growth and to volunteering for the American Planning Association's Ohio and Cleveland sections, most notably funding the annual Cleveland Planning and Zoning Workshop 30 years ago. And whereas David B. Hart believes fervently in smart growth principles and citizen participation in the planning of their communities, and whereas this council desires to express its sincere gratitude to David B. Hart for sharing his immense wisdom and unparalleled expertise, which has helped to make Orange Village a better place, and to express exuberant congratulations on his semi-retirement, which is really just a relocation from the greater Cleveland area to the Chicago area to be in closer proximity to beloved children and grandchildren. Now therefore be it resolved by council of Orange Village, County of Cuyahoga, State of Ohio, that the mayor and council, on behalf of all the people of Orange Village, Ohio, hereby express their sincere gratitude to David Hart for his outstanding public service and dedication to the village and greater Cleveland community. And note that such outstanding service is rare and worthy of emulation, that the clerk of council shall forthwith transmit a certified copy of this resolution to David Hart in honor of his service to the community, and that the resolution shall take effect and be in force from and after the earliest period allowed by law. I'll make a motion to pass this resolution. Is there-
Second.
Thank you. Any comments on this? Oh, please.
Klein,
Yes.
Bilski,
Yes.
Studer,
Yes.
Perry, Braverman,
Yes, and I assume we'll be sending a nice fancy paper copy to Dave in Chicago?
Are you doing that or Hannah?
Hannah?
You'll be sending the nice fancy paper copy?
Oh, nice fancy paper copy.
Fancy paper for a resolution, such as this.
Oh, here's a fancy paper copy.
With a gold seal.
And moving on to audience comments relating to matters which advance the good of the village. No comments. And moving on to committee reports and comments by council members. Mrs. Perry?
The Garden Committee has a field trip planned for June 22nd at 10 a.m. We'll meet in the parking lot of the garden. If you care to join us, it's going to be a very interesting field trip this time. We're going to a personal residence of a woman who lives down at the, I don't know if her property's in the Metro Parks, but when you go down Miles Road and that Metro Park is right there, that road that's closed where the bridge probably was hard, 40 years ago or so, she has a piece of property right there. She's a master gardener, and I hear the property's stunning. So it'd be very interesting if we have a little bit of time on Saturday morning to join us. And other than that, gardens are growing and thriving. We are at full capacity, right, Anna? And it's going to be a great year.
Thank you. Any other comments? And welcome back. Mr. Braverman, comments?
I didn't really have a comment, but I have a question, the interviews and the times. In case somebody asked me, how was the lineup arrived at? Was that strictly on who could be available when you called them, or?
Anna just assigned them and put them out.
What?
Well,
No, I sent an email out to everyone first to say what's the best time that you can attend. The people that did respond sent me some dates. I tried to figure out, do the best that I could with everybody that responded, and then I sent out an email confirming their times, and everyone seems fine except I have one that,
Everybody understood that they weren't going to be put in line based on when they responded.
no. And a lot of them were open to any time, they were available, and some people needed late evenings, and some people wanted earlier. So it seemed to work out very well, except for I have one that might be an issue.
okay. And there's one, maybe two, that we might be FaceTiming.
Yes, and I called the number on my iPad and it works, so I'll give you that on that day, and you guys can contact him, and there might be another gentleman FaceTiming, I just don't have the time yet.
The date remains the same?
Yes, June.
See it on here, I just thought,
Is that the one that you've indicated as iPad on the schedule? It says iPad at 7:30?
Yeah, there's the one that's the iPad at 7:30. That one will be a
Right,
FaceTime.
and this will be the iPad. The last one might be Goulder.
This one?
I'm sorry?
Our interviews on an iPad?
Yeah, FaceTiming.
He's out of town, so it'll be a FaceTime on the iPad.
Okay.
Works pretty cool. We'll just set it up.
Talk to him. And on that note, let me know what kind of pizza you do and do not like, so I can,
Serving anything besides pizza?
yeah, sure, what do you want?
Salad.
Salad? Yeah, yeah,
Or I'll bring my own, just
well,
let me.
we could do salad. Salad's
From the
easy.
garden?
I could.
Oh.
I have a ton of lettuce coming in.
Berries,
Umbrella sandwich.
cranberries from the bog, from all the rain?
Anything else, Mr. Ramerman? Okay, thanks. Mr. Bilski, anything?
Nothing?
Fine.
I don't really have anything specific. I do, as it relates to this whole process, we've had 16 candidates submit resumes and letters of interest, but I haven't seen 16 people showing up at council meeting to see what it is that they're applying for.
Well, we do have this on video now, so they might be watching every night.
But it's so much more entertaining live.
If this is entertaining you, you need some excitement.
Do we get a record of how many people?
know if it's the same person 3 times, though.
Yeah, but do we have some?
I think there was 14 once. Anna, you asked.
11 of them are Scott.
Scott's kids are on, Scott's kids are on
I don't
him.
know when I'm getting home, but
Thanks. Ms. Kluter?
Yes, I took the mayor's advice and got hold of the residents who are over 80 on my street and told them to get in touch with you. Have they done this about the trash? I gave them the numbers.
Tell you what,
Did they reach you because they were supposed to?
I spoke to 2 of them.
Okay, because one I haven't been able to. No, I don't, whatever. I just told them to get a hold of you because we were having a bit of a problem right now. And then thank you, Anna, for the.
We're trying to figure out how to do it, Francis. Anna did stumble upon a service that we might look into. Mr. Zugan is out of town now until the end of the month. When he comes back, we will interview this service. It could be that we will just have the resident contract directly with the service and see how that goes.
No, Anna very kindly got me the Beechwood right of entry, and she got me the actual legislation. Their legislation specifies 80 and over, and whatever you want to do with it. You said you didn't want to do, or handicapped, I think it says. But it was pretty detailed, and so.
They're spending $40,000 to do
I
it.
know, but we won't be spending that. I don't think so for a minute.
At the options.
What will you do with these folk who are contracted you then?
Told them that we would start in July, that they would be our test cases, and I don't know, we will probably test them with the service if we're comfortable with the scrutiny that we've done. We're not endorsing them, we're not, advocating for them, but Anna's been calling references. We know one community that uses them, and I might suggest to those people to try it.
Thank you. And
They can pay it directly. It's $11 a month and $16 in the winter. Maybe they want to do it twice a month instead of every week.
maybe so too.
We're on it.
Thank you. And Anna, I commend you for doing all these interviews and the times. That's a yeoman's job, especially when you get 16 applicants or who knows what. It's very hard to juggle. So I'm thrilled with what you've done. I'm grateful that you've given me a schedule, and I can just work from there. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
I just want to let you know that I will not be at the July council meetings. I'm going to be out of the country. So please make note of that if you wouldn't.
Must be nice.
The last of the Missy 40 before 40 countries.
Oh, where's this one?
Danube River.
It's beautiful.
Where bugs?
Five countries.
Very nice.
Need bug spray in the backyard. I don't know.
So we'll excuse you from the
Thank you.
the regular meeting.
Actually, along those lines, are we meeting on July 3rd?
So I was actually going to discuss that in a minute, but we could do that now.
Workflow is,
Yeah, so that's what I was,
skip it, we will.
yeah, that's what I was wondering if there's, I mean, we don't really have anything that went on for first reading today. I wasn't sure if there's anything.
No, what's ahead?
Other than the fact that
Try to keep it so that we can skip it?
Right.
that's the meeting they'd be sworn in at. Exactly.
Dana,
So, yeah,
Brandon, Dana.
Oh, wait, there is something. That's on my notes. We do have to deal with the rollover note, the 5 million, which is going to be 5,150,000. Now, we were going to do first reading on July 3rd and ask for suspension and passage on July 10th. Now, if you are okay with doing it all on July 10th, then we can skip July 3rd.
when will we have that by? Is there any chance that we'd have it by Monday? And we can do that real quick before we adjourn into,
I don't know.
It's gonna be a miracle that we get through this list on Monday.
it'll take 3 seconds to do first reading on,
We could also just have it on July 10th, and you can suspend and pass it then. It's just the rolling over 5 million plus interest, 5,150,000 to another note. We don't know the cost yet. Is Matt planning to come?
I haven't checked with him on the time. I know he's asked Price to prepare the legislation.
I mean, it's going to look daunting, but all it is rolling it over, and that 5,150,000.
Requirement for a meeting?
yeah, but we have plenty of, we have plenty of time to do a notice for a meeting on Monday if we wanted.
Did you make a notice
But-
for Monday? I'm looking at
You,
Me, I can make an,
We signed a notice. We have to make Monday an official meeting.
a notice, yes.
If you're willing to suspend on the 10th, right, it has to be passed by the end of July.
Yes.
So if you're willing to suspend on the 10th, we can skip the 3rd, and then let's talk to see if there's anything else that comes up, but,
Suspend regardless, but
but then they only have one.
yeah. But that's why I was asking if there's, I mean, then if there's any way of having it by this, if there's not, then it is what it is. I was just wondering if there's any way of,
I can check it.
Okay.
The outside counsel is preparing the legislation, so.
yeah, if you want to do that, because then that'd be great, because then if we were to,
Happen FSA's Wednesday already, you haven't gotten it yet, right?
yeah, and I don't know if it can, but if it can, that'd be great, because then we could receive the ordinance that day, and then Price, it would be first reading, but at least we'd see it before we have to suspend and pass something that's a big, yeah. So, I don't know if we want to see if they can do that. Okay, thank you.
So the 3rd is on or off?
It's, well, as of right this second, it's on, but it's
It could be off.
probably going to be off barring anything that comes up that's necessary. Would that be a fair?
We'll try to avoid it, but this is the one big thing.
I understand that. I just wanted to know if we were going to pass it on the 10th or not. If we're going to do it on the 10th.
On the 10th or not? Yeah.
But it has to be done by then.
I know that, I get that.
I'll talk to Brandon.
They have an afternoon game.
Did you just ask, do you have any other questions?
No, I'm done, thank you.
Yeah, I have a lot to report tonight. First of all, I would like to read a press release that went out today. State Rep Brent today announced that a stretch of Highway 271 will be named after Councilman Ron Barron. Ronald H. Barron had a close relationship with his community, particularly the first responders he represented. When Orange wanted to renovate and reinvigorate part of their village, Councilman Barron committed so wholeheartedly he uprooted his family and moved into the first apartment in Pinecrest. But beyond that, he was a husband, a father, and a mentor. The bill passed through the Transportation and Public Safety Committee unanimously, with the late councilman's family in attendance. His family members gave testimony about his hardworking nature and how grateful they were for him to be honored like this. The stretch of 271 named after him will run next to the Pinecrest development that he helped pioneer. Now, his wife was so excited about this that she texted me right from the hearing. She was so excited. And the section of 271 that is going to be the Ronald H. Barron Memorial Highway is between Harvard and Harvard and South Woodland on 271 going north. And the sign should be up in a few weeks, and they might have some kind of sign celebratory thing. Our letter was read in the committee hearing and provided as testimony, so that is done.
Did you say going north?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, people say, don't you find this annoying, and I don't find it annoying. What I do find is when I get something like the following, to be so validating and rewarding for all the effort and the work that we all put into all of this. Last Saturday, I got an email, and it was a selfie of a resident walking with his wife on the trails, and he says, "Date night going to Pinecrest." We're walking, and they thought of me, I mean, it's not somebody I'm friends with, and they thought of me to send this picture. It was just remarkable.
Did they make it?
I never,
Did they get there?
I hope they made it back.
Can you walk on?
Sunday, June 23rd, is Touch a Truck. This is our inaugural event. We will be having vehicles from fire, police, and service on display. In addition, it will be a University Hospital-sponsored health fair and wellness and fitness event.
That was the 23rd?
Sunday, the 23rd, from 1 to 3? Thanks, Anna. On June 28th, we will be having a movie in the Muni, at the amphitheater. We'll be showing Alice in Wonderland. That will start at dusk. Lisa, we were able to find out that, based on your request, we could get a tour of the recycling facility, but not until the fall. So I will ask you to work with Anna to set that up and what it's going to be.
Will it be just council, or will it be open to residents?
If we have very few residents, he would maybe have them on.
What recycling facility?
In Glen Willow?
We don't have a date yet.
Okay.
All.
Did you already invite a bunch of people? I said, did you already invite a bunch of people? You go, oh, boy.
Initiated by a resident in Landerwood Glen,
I know her.
through my aunt and uncle, to relay the message. So I don't know actually who it is, but I said I would ask. I wonder if it would be fair to ask one representative from every development.
Well, I don't know, but we can think about it, we can talk about it. Now, we're going to walk on the trails, we can talk about it. But Anna did the,
Thank you for looking into it. Thank you, Anna.
Which recycling facility is this?
Glen Willow?
The one that we use.
Where is it? Is that,
It's in Twinsburg.
that's the Twinsburg one, okay.
I think it's actually Walton Hills.
Oh, you pass up the one that.
Am I thinking of Waste Management?
Waste Management.
That's Waste Management.
that was the old one.
Park.
June 7th, 2019 was the 40th anniversary of Chief Chris Christura's employment with Orange Village.
40?
30th year.
Oh, 40.
Started when he was 5.
When I was born.
The only chief with a walker.
Each one of us has strengths and weaknesses, obviously. What's a strength for one of us might be a weakness in another. So I don't know which of you, if any, view me as an unyielding tough Dane, or if some of you may view the same behavior as me being ultra-emotional and thin-skinned. But no matter, I think we all agree that I do get very passionate about things. I do, and I know it. I am very passionate about this job, about this community, and especially about my integrity. I don't mind being criticized when it is fair and constructive. I always want to be and do better. And I generally try to let barbs, not barbed wire, but barbs, pass by without reacting. But when I hear words like transparency, fait accompli, and clear allegations of my supposed lack of collaboration and or communication, I must push back. And I am choosing to do it here and now because this is where it was publicly declared. My way would have been to call one of you directly if I had a question or concern about something. You see, I view myself to be a responsive, collaborative, and inclusive person. That's my impression of myself. You may see me differently. I take pride in my ability to be accessible, approachable, and open-minded. Last week's comments genuinely disturbed me. So I took the week to do some self-reflection and evaluation. A survey went out to the mayor of every community in this county with the following 2 questions. 1, does your community's council president or any council member attend your routine administrative staff meetings? 2, when developers come in for preliminary chit-chat meetings, how many mayors have a council person with them? I found the response data very interesting. With regard to question 1 as to whether any community includes a council person at their administrative staff meetings, I got 41 responses and there was not one yes. There were 2 that tried it and stopped, and there was 1 that invites their council person, but they don't come. We do it differently in Orange Village. Virtually no other council person in any other community is included in their administration's internal deliberations. Despite the clear norms practiced by my peers, and despite the occasional response which was, "Are you kidding?" I plan on continuing to invite the council president to our administrative staff meetings. I believe our ability to work together that way has been useful and meaningful, and I believe it leads to better results for the residents of Orange Village. Having Mr. Duber in attendance has been helpful to the administration as well, and I hope that he or whoever's in his role finds it useful for that role.
I do.
With regard to question 2 as to whether council people come to developer meetings, this was even more surprising to me, because out of 41 responses, the answer was no in every single case. If a council person was even mentioned, it was always not till later when they are included, or on rare occasion, if it was the council person that arranged the meeting, they might attend. I was also surprised to learn that in 3 communities, the mayor isn't even necessarily in the first rounds of meetings. But in our community, and our community only, we have the good fortune to have an accomplished, qualified, experienced, professional, highly respected, and well-known council person at every table from moment 1. Sometimes he knows things even before I do. I don't know if anyone realizes how remarkable this is. I didn't appreciate just how unique of a mayor-council relationship we have until the question was asked to others. How extremely fortunate Orange Village has been for 15 years that Mr. Klein has donated his time and talent to us. I also believe this approach has contributed to the success of Orange Village. I also plan to continue inviting Councilman Klein to participate as long as he's willing. While we also have excellent hired professionals, Judd Klein is in attendance as a council person. I'm not sure his contributions have been given enough recognition here, but the more I realized, from what I learned from the survey, the more I realized how incredibly lucky Orange Village has been and is. I remind you all that planning and zoning agendas are posted on the website if you're ever interested in what we're doing. Mr. Klein does a good job of reporting in after the meetings. My earnest and respectful suggestion is, should any of you see a developer you know personally or socially, or they call you up on the phone, I encourage you to do what Francis Kluter led by example. I don't know if you remember Francis, but you preached this during the early Pinecrest days. Whenever one of the developers called you up, like Dave Luanski or any of them, Francis, if they phoned you direct, you schooled them on following proper protocol. You told them to go through the mayor's office, and you would listen to what they have to say when it gets to the whole council level. I hope you remember that, Francis.
Lewinsky, Mr. Lewinsky, originally, who was going through it vicariously, the one who started Pinecrest.
Preached.
No, Mr. Lewinsky, that was the man I preached it to.
And sincerely invite each and every one of you to call me anytime, as often as you want, whenever you want, about anything. Yeah, last week really had me disturbed.
Any other comments? I
I'm embarrassed.
think what's that?
I'm embarrassed.
Oh, you love it.
Garage sale.
You love it.
June 28th and 29th is a community-wide garage sale. Hurry, hurry. If you're one of the first 25 to sign up, you'll even get a free sign. Herb, you have things left over from last year?
I'm in.
Showed up last year?
Did we have 15 last year?
How many?
How many did we get?
Like 15, I think, last year. I think this year we only had like 16.
How many garages did you sell?
Last year we had about 13 or 14, and I think this year we only have like 16.
The newsletter went to print. It will
Right.
come out, and I bet you'll get an uptick, just like the pickleball thing. Anna told me that we had, what, 7 people? 14 people showed up, so.
While we're on the subject, I mean, do you have the balloons? Are they going to come here and get them? Is that it?
Yeah, balloons, and I have a sign for you, Herb, but
Okay, Miss Shakespeare. You can
Sure.
do that because you're British.
I can.
Okay.
too good.
Anything else? No? All right.
Executive session, I wrote a note to you.
I know. Well, it's my turn for comments, but I don't have any. So, if we can I have a motion to adjourn into executive session for the purpose of discussing pending or prospective litigation and personnel matters. And we would like to invite Chief
appoint-
Costura to attend this.
It's the appointment of compensation,
Sorry.
village officials, employees.
That was my fault.
Okay.
So moved?
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. If you'd call roll, please.
Klein? Yes. Bilski?
Yes.
Cluter?
Yes.
Harry?
Yes.
Braverman? Yes. Huber?
Yes.
The sheet, so.